Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Year of Shame Challenge 2 podcast. I am your host, Adam Ducker, and on this religious holy day of Sunday, here to confess their gaming sins are Colm and Justin. Say hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
How's it going?
So, we record on Sunday for once. Just a chilled Sunday evening. You guys alright?
Yeah, halfway through a long bank holiday weekend. Just podcasting and editing. Lovely.
Yeah, I know. We only spoke yesterday. Feels like deja vu already.
Oh, and Colm, you having some family time? No, your plans have changed now. What's up there?
Secretly, I thought that my wife was going to whisk me away for the weekend, but it didn't turn out. We were only going out for the day. So... She's looking at me
backpacked and everything.
Well, I didn't pack my bags just in case.
You asked her if you needed your toothbrush, and she thought, what?
So we just went down for the day yesterday. So we just had a day out. Just down in Newbridge. It's only about an hour's drive down the road. So cool. That was it. Just done a bit of rambling in the shops.
Hopefully no game shops, but we can talk about that later.
I was going to say, your rambling normally ends up with provisions of a gaming nature. normally results in confession emails being sent.
Oh, God, no. We'll wait and see, as they say.
Oh, okay. Well, rather than hearing that, why don't you tell us what you've been playing, Colm?
Okay. Finally, I completed Mario 3D World.
The Wii U one, that is, yeah?
The Wii U one,
yeah, because it's 3D Land on the...
3D Land, sorry. I did finish the Mario 3D World there last year, but... Yeah, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I had all intention and purpose to go back and collect every star, but, my fickle mind, and I just didn't bother.
Yeah, it never happens. I always think this is the one way I'm going to do it, and I never do.
Yeah.
The only one I've ever done that for is Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, and then again on the Game Boy Advance.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you got everything, then the Koopas ended up with little Mario faces for shells. And the map changed colour.
On which version?
On both of them.
Oh, I had no idea.
You collect all the Yoshi coins on every level.
Cool.
There is a nice little surprise when you do finish the game. But I don't know whether to say it just for spoiler purposes,
Does it change the game forevermore?
No, it doesn't really affect the game. It just gives you an option to play the original Mario, one of the original Mario games as a bonus,
Oh, cool.
So that's a pretty nice little touch. Then I had some played on my iPad for a bit. iOS Rooms.
Oh, yeah, where it's like puzzles.
Yeah,
to get out of rooms, basically.
Yeah, that was enjoyable enough. And
then finish it.
Yeah, and then I went back to Tomb Raider on the PS3 and finished that too. Yeah, because I played it on the Xbox 360 and I have it on the PC as well. But because it came a plus, I decided I love it that much that I played it again.
Wow. Okay.
Basically, played that most of the last 2 weeks ago over the long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. So that was my 3 games I've completed this month. I'm playing Demon Souls at the moment, and thanks to Justin for his mentoring.
I just told you the route to go around the first level and to not try and charge down the dragon flamey corridor.
Yeah, and it's actually a great game. Jason Curry was saying that they were playing Dark Souls 2, and they were just saying, if you just go with the fact that you're going to die a lot, you will start to enjoy the game. So I said nothing new there for me. So yeah, so that's really I'm really liking that. Still playing Bioshock 3 and Steam World Dig on the 3DS. For some reason, I'm 13 hours into this game. I'm supposed to only take 5 hours, but
which one? Steam?
Yeah, Steam World Dig. Yeah.
Are you getting occupied with other things, or are you just really bad at it?
That's a good point.
Because, if it's like a JRPG, you can understand when you're occupying all your times with side quests and things. But if it's just that you're, struggling on the basic walking from A to B.
No, I'm not. No, I'm dying a lot, all right. But I just like to dig. I'm just trying to dig all the paths out, and I'm on the last level, if you know what I mean. But it's just I just enjoying the game. So I checked my time and logged in on it, and it's 13 hours. So
I guess you can kind of get sidetracked though if you want to keep digging and doing bits and bobs and stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than going straight to the missions, from what I understand of it anyway.
Yeah. So, and I'm trying to build up my level as well. I'm on level 14 or something like that. So
yeah.
And then I playing Defiance as well on the PS3.
Oh, okay.
We'll come back to that later.
Well, I was going to just quickly jump in there and say that news broke this week that Defiance is going free to play. So it's going to be, I think it's June for the PC and July for the consoles. I could be the wrong way around on that, but June the 4th it starts on free to play to coincide with Season 2 coming out on the TV.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. So you should get some free stuff or whatever.
Yeah, they from what I gather, they're doing like they did with DC Universe, in the sense that anyone that actually bought the game before it went on free to play model gets rewarded for their investment.
Yeah. See, I own it on PC, but it's downloaded. Never started it because I got it for free for Extra Life last year. But it's still a retail copy, so I assume I'm still classed as an actual customer.
I guess so, if you've registered it.
Yeah, register it and like redeemed a code to purchase it, so to speak, I guess. So who knows? Mate, I always mean to play it, but never. So how much have you played of it, Colm, anyway?
About half an hour, because it takes about 45 minutes for the things to download, the updates to download, and the patches and stuff. So,
and just remind me, it's humans and aliens, isn't it? On like coexisting on the world.
Yeah, as far as I can make out, yeah.
Although I suppose arguably the humans are also aliens anyway, because they're not on Earth.
No, I've watched a few episodes of it, and it's kind of like there's been a war that went on for ages, and now they all coexist, but like everything's still a bit uneasy.
Yeah,
still don't particularly get on.
Yeah,
all that nonsense.
Yeah, life really in general. Yeah. Okay, so that's me for this month. That's
cool.
Justin.
Cool.
Me. Well, I finally finished Bioshock, and
yay!
I know I started it right at the start of the month, and because I was doing some other things, like I was going to the cinema quite a bit, and just staying late at work, and actually catching up with friends, going away for weekends and things like that, I realised that I was actually cutting out quite a lot of the time I would normally put into my gaming. Plus, I discovered after about 6 hours that I had put the game on hard in an attempt to do the achievement for finish it on hard and finish it on hard without using the Vita chambers. I think there was a reasoning for it right when I made that decision, but it was such a long time ago, I can't remember. But played through that, and I don't have any desire to rush into Bioshock 2. Clearly, Bioshock 1 sets up for it with what happens to your character, so I'm guessing it's the same character you play in the second one.
Okay.
Well, because
I'm not gonna say anything.
Well, the one thing I did know about Bioshock 2 is you're a big daddy.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make sense if you don't play through Bioshock.
Okay.
Too much?
I don't want to wreck anything for it.
I was going to say, is that too much of a spoiler?
No, you're going to end up playing it, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. Well, I'm not rushing to play it. I'm changing my style of gameplay because I pretty much spent most of the month playing that, which is a first-person shooter, I suppose you'd say.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not an out-and-out action shooter, but I needed to have something different. So after I finished that, I went and played Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which I know you guys are both finished as well.
Yeah, we talked about it quite at length the other day, didn't we?
When we
were recording Last Save Loaded.
Yeah, but for the benefit of the people listening to this, I did the mentality, took the approach of just taking a nice relaxed afternoon and play through the whole game start to finish. You guys, having talked about it before, had given me the impression it wasn't that long, so it didn't make sense to try and break it up. Plus, there didn't seem to be any points at which there was like an obvious save point or anything like that. So I was actually a little bit worried if I left turn the game off, what would happen if I tried to turn it back on midway through a game? Because it's so fluid. Obvious, you never really seem to have any loading apart from when your scenario changes from like one landscape to another.
Yeah, and you have a bit of loading,
but quite emotional. And I did have my moments of struggling with the controls. And did you guys when you were controlling them have to always have Big Brother on the left of the screen and Big Little Brother on the right of the screen so that it corresponded with your hands on the thumbsticks?
Yep. And then it's annoying because they play with that on occasion and force you to do puzzles where they have to be on the opposite side.
But when they did that, I just didn't touch one of them and I just left him there and I moved the other one around. The only exception was when it got to the edge of the range on how far they can be apart from each other before the camera kind of stops and goes, "No, I'm not letting you split them any further."
One of them calls out to the other one.
Yeah, I was expecting it to do a bit of a Lego game type thing where it just tears the screen into two separate screens. That would have worked so much better. But then I guess people would have tried to just leave one of the brothers behind.
Yeah, I think they did it deliberately, didn't they, to show that bond both mechanically and emotionally.
Yeah.
I suppose.
But there were moments where it was quite obvious what I was needed to do, and there were moments where I could see where I needed to be, but couldn't necessarily work out how to get there. I think one puzzle that stood out for me was making Big Brother hang on some railing while Little Brother runs around on the side and moves all the hatches so that the gates open, so that there's police hanging off can let him through without killing him.
Yeah.
Sort of in the caves. And I was half curious to wonder what would happen if I didn't try and open those gates, but I didn't want to let them die on purpose. And that's actually an interesting point that I've just kind of thought of, that there's some games like Batman games, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. Obviously, you're not trying to kill Batman. You're trying to knock out everyone else. But once you've had that first death, where you see one of the villains stand over the camera and talk
to him,
you suddenly think, that was actually quite good. He's blatantly taunting me. I wonder what else I get. And different characters kill you, obviously, and say different things throughout the game. This, I never had any thought about even trying to let them die. I wanted to protect them all the way through.
At all costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as we said the other day, the bloody plane section. Ugh.
Colm, did you have problems with that section? Just to check it's not us.
Oh no, I had problems with every section basically.
But the plane section was just so obvious that you were meant to land on one platform that you couldn't land on, and you try over and over again, and eventually come to the conclusion that I must be doing something wrong here.
Yeah. Like I said before, I played it when I did Extra Life, and my friend had already finished it. He watched me fail, and he just looked at me and he was like, just go around it. And I was like, huh? Yeah, there's something weird, like we said, about how it's pushing you to land on that platform. The angle's perfect. You look like you can't make it any further, but no.
And it looks like
something you could land on.
And me being critical, when you then do make it to that platform, you see the brothers jump off the plane, and the plane is completely intact in that cutscene.
Yeah.
It's not tattered to shreds, which is why they've had to bail out in the first place.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'll take your word for that.
It just irked me a little bit because I'd been so frustrated up until that point. But other than that, did enjoy it. If I say the Yeti, the Abominable Snowman section, that was quite challenging. And but a couple of things that just grossed me out a little bit. Rivers of Red.
Oh, yeah.
And, having to become a living god.
Yeah.
Because I died on that one a few times because I thought, I can run around the outside here. But no, you can't. Anyway. So I played that, and that was about 4-5... Must have been 5 hours because I just kind of sat on a bench and then ate my lunch watching the, with the characters looking at the scenery. Then to further break up my game style choices, I went and played a bit of Cook Serve Delicious.
Yeah.
And other than just being something that I can dabble in for a little bit here and there without getting fully immersed in, I know this game is immensely addictive, and if I started sitting down for more than 5 minutes, I'm sure I'd get as deep into this as you were with Binding of Isaac.
Really? That's how you'd compare it? Like it would get under your skin and be
like I'd be. I'm sure I can. I'm sure I could do better than that. I'll go back and do another day. Yeah. So
what is it? What is it about? I never played it. Sorry.
Well, it's basically can you call it a restaurant simulator? You get people walk into your restaurant and ask you, or they give you your menu selections. You have to serve them with what they've asked for in the order they've asked for it, cooked to perfection, and not disappoint them. So if you overcook something or you undercook it, then they get unsatisfied. If you fail to wash your plates and throw out your trash and flush your toilets and things like that, then you lose points for hygiene, and it's basically a juggling act. But some things on the menu are quick and simple. Other things are lots of weird keyboard combinations, and I know a lot of people played this on iPad when it came out, and now that it's on Steam as well, people are getting into it there too. I've had it pretty much since Christmas when it was given to me, which I mentioned on the show when I picked it up. But I could see myself getting into it if I let myself, and I've heard too many tales of woe about it that I don't want to. Don't want to give myself further anguish at this stage.
Trying to keep it casual.
Yeah. And then I've got 2 other games I'm playing at the moment. I'm playing Smart As on the Vita, which we picked up last month, which is essentially a modern-day version of brain training. And that's as much as I need to say on that, really. And then Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. because I'm about a month behind on my Assassin's Creed alternating months, and I said to you when I finished Bioshock, Colm, that I would get started on Assassin's Creed Brotherhood so that you could join me, but you've been playing Tomb Raider instead.
Yes, I didn't want to rain on your parade as such, so I thought you would like to finish it first before I started.
Well, I'm sure that you'll, if you want to start it now, I will finish it before you, because I'm probably about halfway through Memory Sequence 5 at the moment, and there's only 9 in it. So
okay,
I have downloaded DLC missions that have been incorporated into the main game, though, because like with the Mass Effect 2 game, if you've got DLC, they just appear on the map, so you don't know that they're DLC ones.
Yeah.
And so it pops up saying, Copernicus, and you go and talk to him, and he gives you missions and things, but it's no different to if you talk to the Thieves Guild or the Courtesans Guild. They just give you their own missions, and they range from escort quests to assassination ones, and things like that. But now I've met Leonardo da Vinci, and I've started upgrading my weapons, and the annoying thing is seeing that there are areas that are border controlled, because you're in Rome rather than in Florence and Venice and all those places you were before. You do occasionally take trips to other areas as part of the Leonardo missions, but I think you only actually need to do one. But there are 4 of them available, and that's to blow up specialized weapons. And you're missing a treat if you don't do them, because it's basically 15th century tanks and gunboats and things like that. Early machine guns.
Oh yeah, I forget it starts to work on that sort of stuff. Completely forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first.
It's quite cool though. It mixes it up.
Yeah. The first one I did was stealing the plans and destroying them for machine gun. Then when you've done that and you blow up the prototype, a stagecoach bursts out the doors carrying one on the back of it. So you've got to go and catch up with it, and then basically you've got the classic sort of car chase with you on the gun turret, and trying to shoot down all the horse riders that are coming to stop you.
Yes.
But then the other one I've done is this little gondola that's got a rocket launcher on it. Well, I say rocket launcher, it's got flaming cannonballs. And so you have to row your way past 3 frigates and set fire to them. And they're obviously shooting all their cannons at you. So I haven't. I'm midway through going on to my next one, so I don't know what I'll be up against. But if there's 4 of them, I've nearly finished on that. And it does give it a nice change from the routine of just going around the same city. But the most annoying thing is, as you get with all Assassin's Creed games, the section where it won't let you into that part of the city because it starts just saying, yes, you haven't progressed that far yet.
Yeah, through the memories, yeah.
Yeah. And it just desyncs you if you try and stay in there. They should do like they did with Grand Theft Auto. You can go in maps that you haven't unlocked, but just everything is hostile at you and tries to kill you.
Yeah, that would, yeah.
Yeah. So those are my games. Adam, what have you been playing on?
So, I have beaten Bioshock Infinite, the DLC, Burial at Sea. I completed both parts.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to hear you talk about the original Bioshock and Bioshock Infinite, because this kind of mixes things up quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell whether they originally planned for it to all be this way, or if everything slots in a little bit too conveniently and they've retconned it all.
Well, having not even remotely played 3, the thing that a lot of people were wary of, it was the fact that it was in a completely different environment. And, they were saying, well, how can it be in the Bioshock universe when Bioshock was obviously underwater and Bioshock Infinite is up in the clouds?
Yep.
So
they address that.
Yeah, so it's either set up originally of, yes, well, that's how we're keeping it in the same universe, or it was just, there probably are some people that have complained that it doesn't make sense, so let's try and work it out with a bit of DLC.
Yeah, I don't know. It could go either way. I'm not entirely sure. I personally think it's all a little bit too convenient and they've slotted it all into work that way. But the end revelation's quite cool. It wraps stuff up. And now knowing that Irrational have split up and everything, you can see this is them drawing a close to their loop of the Bioshock story. I definitely think the franchise is too big that it's not over. We're going to see more from 2K Games. One of the studios will do it. So that's that. The other game I beat was Dust and Elysian Tale. I beat it in a couple of days. Good game, like a Castlevania Metroid style 2D platformer. Nice combat system. Beautiful graphics. Amazing thing it's made all by one guy. Which is baffling that he could do all of that on his own. But he managed it. So fair play to him. And then the last thing I finished, which we'll get onto later about how I acquired it, is Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. It's a good game. But probably one of the best looking games out there. So I played it on Xbox One, which I guess is the second best version to play after the PS4. And it's pretty short. It took me 2 hours to finish the initial story. And I've maybe spent another 2-3 hours doing side missions. And now I kind of need to go back and work out some stuff. Because there's missions that I haven't unlocked, so I must be able to unlock somehow. So I've got to work. There's obviously something I've missed somewhere or not done. And it's obvious that it's a bit of an advert for the Phantom Pain, because it comes to a very sudden end and then has a trailer for Phantom Pain.
Is it the same trailer we saw at E3 last year?
No, it has different bits because it's kind of weird. It has bits that you've done in Ground Zeroes intersected with it.
Oh, right.
Something quite bad, I guess, happens to Snake at the end. And this trailer addresses that, lets you know, oh yeah, well, who knows? It makes it seem like you're still playing as Big Boss Naked Snake, but who knows with Kojima, it could be a complete lie. But it seems to set up the fact hey, this ending's not as bad as it seems. We're still going with Snake, which they have to, obviously, because we know he's alive, way into the future of the franchise.
Well, we know there is a version of Snake way into the future of the franchise.
Yeah. And Big Boss, technically. Because this is set back before... This is set, post Peace Walker, which is post Metal Gear 3, I think.
Oh, I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, Metal Gear Solid universe is nonsensical, and any time you try and put a story into it, it just goes wrong.
But there is a story.
Is there the cyborg ninja in it?
Raiden?
No, Raiden's the new one, but in Metal Gear Solid on the PS1 and subsequently on Sons of Liberty on the PS2, you met the ninja.
What's his name? Fox or something?
Is it Grey Fox?
Yeah. I haven't come across him. I'm not sure if there's any characters that could be him. It alludes to there being other characters from the franchise as well. Raiden's in there, apparently, as an exclusive Xbox mission, but I haven't found that mission yet. That's the one I need to try and work out how to unlock. Anyway.
You can't put Raiden into that time frame, because he's a young rookie in Metal Gear 2.
Okay, but then they've also done that in Metal Gear 3. There's a bit where there's a character that looks like him, and if you kill him, like the game ends and says that you've caused a paradox or something. So I don't know. Maybe Raiden finds out how to time travel, or it's just meant to be stupid. I have no idea. But yeah, you're right. He shouldn't be there. He would only be a kid at best, possibly not even born. But he's there. Next up, I have abandoned Bully, you'll be sad to hear. I just can't do it. I was actually getting depressed about playing it.
Oh dear. Oh, gee.
That's how bad things were.
I thought you were just taking a break from it.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to it because out of I think there's 6 chapters, I'm up to chapter 4, so it would be stupid for me to just cast it aside completely. But I just wasn't enjoying it. Like, I'd come home from work and think, right, I'm going to play games. Oh, Bully. Okay, boot it up. And just all the reasons I say why I hated it, the despicable characters, yada, yada, still feel that same way. Not fun at all, basically. So I've abandoned that. I also got gifted a copy of Goat Simulator, which I'll get onto why. It was kind of a trade. I've been playing quite a bit of that, played a few hours. You basically play a goat that is terrorizing a village. He can lick things. He can jump. He can get possessed by, like, goat gods. He can use funny items to whiz around the town.
And he can headbutt with the force of 1,000 charging bulls.
Yep. And he can kick just as hard, too. It's just a really dumb game. Basically, it's a joke game almost, based on a joke. But really funny. And just stupid daft. A good game to have when you got your friends round, I guess, and like show them, like, here, have this controller and do this dumb crap. It has achievements and stuff, so you can technically, there is an aim to it, I guess, to cause terror in the most ways possible. But it's fun. I'd recommend it for anybody. It's $9.99 in dollars, so I'm not sure what it is in pounds. A bargain. And the last thing, were you going to say something, Justin?
No, I was going to say, I knew it was going for £6.99.
Oh, okay. And curiously, it's got a boxed release in England, I saw. Which is weird. You can go and buy it in the shops now.
Well, there's a lot of people who only buy boxed copies, isn't there?
No. But of all the games... It's weird. You struggle to find a boxed copy of Titanfall, but you can have a boxed copy of Goat Simulator. It's nuts to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the last thing I just started playing last night, which I tweeted about to you, Justin, is Child of Light.
Yes.
Now, I'm not usually an RPG player, as we've talked about before, Justin. I tend to switch off when you talk about RPGs because it gets a bit too much for me. Like, there's too much story, the combat systems are too complicated. But I think Child of Light might just be my RPG because it's
cute.
Nice uses. Oh, go on.
It's cute.
Yeah, it is cute. It uses the Ubi art framework platform, the same thing that they make Rayman with. So basically they can draw any art and then just dump it into this engine and it comes out looking incredible. So it looks like it's just leapt off the page. You play this girl with like this long flowing ginger hair and her hair just flows as she runs around and stuff. It's amazing. One of the best looking games artistically ever. Like, I thought Dust looked good when I played that, but this looks even better.
Have you got the PC version or the PS3
this is
4 version?
This is Xbox One version.
Oh.
So it looks nice. So it's not RPG as in third person like a lot of them are, or top down. It's a 2D platformer. What I like about the combat is, from the looks of things, it's never going to be more than two. You're controlling 2 party members against 3 enemies. It's never going to be more complicated than that. You have like a little wisp thing that's like floats around that you can control with the right stick. You can use him to slow down enemies' attacks, so there's kind of that help. The combat seems pretty simple. It has like a bar along the bottom, and everyone's icons are like moving across it, waiting until it's time to attack. And then when it's time to do your attack, it'll come up with your menu, and you can pick your attack, and then you have another little meter waiting for the attack to be done, and you can kind of intercept people's attacks when they've already built up and stuff.
We call that turn-based combat.
Yeah. But it makes it feel a bit more like it's real time because it has this meter working up. Because you can effectively lose turns or prevent the monsters from having a turn, because they get to. There's like a blue bar, so that's the build up waiting for their turn. Then they pick what they're going to do. There's a second red bar, and then that's where you build up to actually execute the attack. So somebody's in that red bar, you can then try to hit them and hope that you reach the end of the red bar to do your attack before they do, effectively making them skip that turn and then have to start all the way through the bars again. So I kind of find that quite cool. I'm definitely going to stick with it and finish it. One interesting thing about that, I started it on normal and then found out that that's perhaps not the thing to do because it's too easy. It kind of suits me, but then I found out that they're going to patch it next week and change it to casual and hard rather than normal and hard. So I'm effectively playing the baby's version of an RPG now without realising. Because they kind of said we didn't quite get it right, like the wording's wrong. This isn't a normal version. Typical to an RPG, I guess.
Did you know it's actually a 2-player?
Yes. It prompts you quite a lot, telling you that a second person can control the little wisp thing with the right hand stick. It would actually be quite useful. There's some bits where you have to use the wisp thing to light up, and it sometimes gets a bit confusing, a bit like with Brothers, actually, because you're trying to control the wisp in one way to light the way, so you can see where you're jumping, whilst also controlling the character called Aurora. But it works well enough. I might try it with a second player and see how that goes. But that's all I've played, I think. I dabbled with a bit more Marvel Heroes, the free-to-play Marvel MMO, but not enough to talk about it.
Fair enough.
And that's everything. So, guys, next up, what have we picked up? So, Colm, would you like to tell us what you picked up?
Yes, I had €9 left on my PSN. So I bought Silent Hill Book of Memories on the Vita. It's not a bad game. It's hack and slash sort of. It's not your typical Silent Hill game. It's more like a dungeon crawler.
Is that the game that was actually made for the Vita? That's not one of the PSP ones, is it?
No, this was made for the Vita, specifically for the Vita, and it was on sale there 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Did I miss something? Sorry, how did you pay for it?
I had a PSN credit still left over from Valentine's Day. That's the last of my PSN credit, so I've been wise.
I'm trying to be an ass.
I've been wise with my purchases. Well, as wise as I can be. I also got a present of Welsh Beno for Velvet Assassin on the Steam. It was on sale for like £1 or something like that, so he kindly gave that to me. I haven't had time to play that yet.
I don't even know what that one is, to be honest.
It was out in the Xbox 360 there, I think, as well.
It was similar to the Saboteur, that sort of art style.
Okay, like black and white.
You played a woman.
Okay, cool. Sounds like it'll be interesting.
I also picked up Hearthstone on the iPad. That's free. Yeah. I played a bit of that. It's quite enjoyable.
Have you been playing on PC beforehand, or is iPad your first?
No, iPad was my first experience.
Okay. You should play Justin sometime.
Yeah.
He's a wizard at it.
I'd be afraid to play him, actually. And then I had for Easter, I got €25 3D store card for Nintendo. For Nintendo store.
Very nice.
Instead of an Easter egg.
See, so many people on my Facebook and stuff wrote like, "What's with Easter now? Why has it become a second Christmas?" And you're part of the problem, Colm.
I am.
Gifts
Yes.
for Easter. I got an Easter egg and a Mr. Solid, which is a rabbit made out of solid chocolate. It's the way it should be.
Yes, it's the way it should be. I'm an evil person. So for that, I got Nintendo Pocket Football Club.
Oh yeah. What's that like?
Well, I'm still trying to finish the Steam World Dig, so I haven't really had much time to play with it. It's more like an RPG for football simulator type of thing. It's not as detailed as Football Manager or anything like that, but it's Football Manager, very extreme light, I suppose, for people like me that wouldn't be into Football Manager. And I also picked up Child of Light on the Wii U, which you were talking about, so
yeah,
I haven't
started yet. Though.
I haven't started yet. No.
Did your Wii U come with the game? That is, did it come with any Did you pre-order it or did you just?
No, I didn't pre-order. No.
Is it digital only? Because it is on the PlayStation.
So, it's funny you should say that because I was in GameStop there during the week, and they have a boxed version of it, special edition version coming out with extra stuff in it, like manuals and stuff like that. You know, it's a special edition. I think it was for 25 euro, I think.
For the Wii U?
This version I was looking at was for the PS4, I think.
Oh, funny you should mention that.
What, the PS4?
No.
Okay.
Let me jump in and tell you one of the things I picked up.
Oh no, please don't. Okay,
So,
go on.
So, as we know, I gave Welsh Benno that Steam Humble Bundle, and he repaid me by putting £20 in my Amazon account. And then back 2-3 weeks ago, I spotted on Amazon the Child of Light Deluxe Edition for £14.99 going on PS3/PS4 cross-buy. And I looked at it and it said, you get all this stuff with it, but it doesn't actually come with the game. The game is a DLC code.
Yeah. And
I've actually found out that this package is not available. It's not available on cross-buy in North America either. So it was exclusive to us over here. And sure enough, I put in my order, and yesterday Amazon Courier decided to turn up about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and here's a box. Let me tell you what's inside this box. I've got a digital version of the game leaflet that's just got a code on it.
Yeah.
Which, as I say, from what it says here, is cross-buy PS3, PS4. But if you did try and import it to America thinking that you'd bought a boxed copy, you wouldn't have done. You'd have bought a piece of paper. There's also bonus digital content. You get a Golem pack and you get the Dark Aurora pack, so alternate costume.
Okay.
I've got a lovely art book that's all like watercolours. And
nice.
A nice A3 poster, which again is watercolory style. The fabric, the paper it's on, it doesn't feel like cheap photocopied stock that you'd normally get with that sort of thing. But it's an A2 one, so it's quite large. And I've got myself a little keyring of whatever the light bulb thingy's name is, Ignitius or
Ignitius, or
something like that. So I've got this little light up keyring.
Cool,
nice.
With smiley blue. It's a blue flame with a smiley face on it.
He does have a cute little face, I gotta give it, and he does little expressions and stuff in the game. It's quite funny.
That's pretty good, because I think the game cost me €14.99 from the store, like just for the game alone. Like.
Yeah, well, that was it. And my justification was, obviously, I spoke previously about considering buying a PS4, or sorry, let me start that again. Considering buying a new phone and getting a free PS4, and I've decided not to do it.
Yeah.
But because this is cross-buy, I figured if I did get a PS4, I'd have a game that's quite current on it. Plus, got the limited edition stuff, and it was about the same sort of price I'd expect to pay for the game in the first place.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much, Howard.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, so sorry if that makes you feel a little bit gutted at what you've spent and got.
I think it's kind of weird, though, this practice of downloadable games, but still with special editions. So we're moving one way towards digital, but they still want to find ways to get you to spend more money.
Well, didn't South Park do it? Wasn't there a Stick of Truth bundle that was everything except the game?
I think so, yeah. I feel like Saints Row, one of them might have done it as well, actually.
Well, anyway, that's the only game I've gone out and picked up from my own intention.
Cool.
So you may carry on. Is there anything else you picked up there, Colm?
I'm a gutted man now. Thanks very much, Justin. So I decided to trade in my Mario 3D World or Land on the Wii U, and I've been looking for Monster Hunter for ages. And I went into CEX last weekend, and there it was sitting on the shelf waiting for me. So I was able
That's going to last you a long time.
I was able to manage Monster Hunter 3 and Defiance for the same price as the trade-in. So I got a good trade-in.
So you went in with one game, you came out with two, and you didn't hand over any cash?
That's it, basically.
I consider that a good deal.
Yes. Well,
but just to play devil's advocate, in terms of clearing your backlog,
I know. Yes, I know.
You've just got one MMO that's going to have new content coming very soon when the second season launches, and Monster Hunter that
is a big time sink.
Is a very big time sink.
Yes,
I mean,
I know.
From the PSP one I played, like 20 hours isn't scratching the surface.
Yes, I know, but it's probably a game that I'll be playing well into my 60s.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Granted, I have games now that I think I haven't got time now, but when I retire, I'll be good to play it.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking that, but by the time I get to retirement age, my thumbs will probably have riddled with arthritis, and I'll only be able to play games with my fingers or something like that. So the keyboard will probably still be functioning for me. So it's fun and games, as they say. So yeah, I consider I did better than last month. Let's put it that way, lads. I thought I did well better.
Yeah.
And I have a confession to make, which I didn't email to you this month.
Okay.
I was about 10 feet away from actually purchasing an Xbox One last weekend.
Does that mean you took it to the counter and then had a panic thinking...
No, my wife was taking the money out of her purse for me to buy as an early gift, and my son was edging me on, go on, Dad, you can do it, go on. And I'm going, but you only want me to buy this so we can play together on the Xbox One. And, I was thinking, well, the lads wouldn't find out, because if I got an Xbox One, I could just say I was playing on the Sons. And then I just... I really wanted to buy a PS4, but I says, well, I could get around that now. I could say to the lads, I'm only playing the Sons. I came to my senses anyway. And the fact that I have to fork out 400 quid for it, or we have to fork out 400 quid for him next week for his school, didn't help either. So what
the hell is the school doing? It costs 400 quid.
Oh, he has a transition year next year that you have to pay up front, and they go on school trips and so forth. And, basically,
send him down the mines, make him earn his own keep.
Basically, a DOS year for school, DOS year for school. So yeah. So
at your expense.
It was an emotional roller coaster last weekend. Let's say that.
Wow.
And so yeah.
Thanks for that. So, Justin.
Yeah?
You've already told us a couple of things you picked, or one thing you picked up. What else did you get?
Okay, so I'd already hinted that I picked up Child of Light, or I've already told you that. PS Plus titles, as is my regular incoming game collection, was banked Mercenary Kings for a PS4. Not that I reckon I'll ever play it, even if I did have the console. Sly Cooper Thieves in Time has come out, and that appears to be crossed by PS3 and Vita.
Okay, nice.
Had Pro Evo Soccer 2014, which, to be fair, I did actually play it for about an hour and then promptly deleted it because it was awful and unplayable. And that's why I didn't say it in my What Have You Been Playing?
Yeah.
MotoGP on the Vita, and because of the date we're recording this, I've now picked up the May games, which is Payday 2, Puppeteer on the PS3, Muramasa Rebirth on the Vita, and I've banked Stick It to the Man on PS4. Now, there were 2 other games that were free in Plus, but it seems to be that anytime Justin ever buys a game on the PS Store, they seem to give it away a month or 2 later. So both Hotline Miami and Everybody's Golf were given away free after I'd bought them.
Yeah, I'd be the same too. I bought them 2 games as well.
So, and Adam, we were saying you've been playing Dust Elysian Tale, and that's now on Games for Gold.
Yeah. So I might play. I might play it again for the achievements. Because not that I'm bothered by achievements. Well, no, but everybody else is obviously a whole generation. I didn't own an Xbox 360. I had a profile that I used on my dad, so I did have some achievements beforehand. But basically, everyone has like 50,000, and I'm on like 3,000. And there's not that many games to play. So my friend does have an Xbox 360 spare. So I could borrow it off him and start banking these games with Live.
Well,
I suppose.
But you're getting married.
Yeah.
And now that there's been that guy who got the 1 million achievement points, people are kind of, crying into their cereal in the morning now.
Yep.
And realising that the first 4 years of Xbox 360, when everyone was achievement mad and got to play games for achievements, and laughing that PS3 didn't have anything, and then they came out with trophies, which everyone just jokes about. And now people still kind of joke about trophies and don't really give any consideration to them. But I think, generally speaking, people have given up on achievements now as well. Or at least achievement hunting.
Yeah. But then again, my friend, when I told him I'd Metal Gear and I'd finished it, he was like, how many achievements did you get? What are they? There's lots of points. So some people do still care.
Well,
but I know what you mean.
You know the ones that are specifically chasing their virtual penis points by the ones that have played games like Terminator Salvation and Hannah Montana.
Up
and
the video game.
Toy Story
that was
3.
An easy one. Yeah.
I would.
I played Terminator Salvation.
So did I. Yeah.
Not for the trophy.
I did.
Just because I'm a fan of the
You played it for trophies.
I did. Yeah. I still didn't manage to get all the trophies on Xbox 360.
You just need to finish the game.
I know.
Finish the game
on hard, yes,
yeah.
yes. But I did manage to get it on the PS4. PS3, sorry. So, but I was.
Let's see if they make a game for the next Terminator movie that they've signed up Schwarzenegger for again.
And Matt Smith, Doctor Who, he's just signed up for it.
Huh?
Yeah, he's going to be in the new Terminator film.
Gee.
Well, Terminator trilogy. He's going to have a small part in the first one, and then a bigger part in the second and third.
I wonder if they're going to reboot it with the same character, same actor for the first film. That'd be slightly messing with your mind. Anyway, what have you picked up, Adam?
Okay, this has been a month of swap season, all sorts.
Okay, so you're mocking Colm for trading in games, and you're...
Yeah, basically.
Right, okay, Mr. Double Standards, let's talk us through it.
So the first thing I picked up, and this is a weird one that I don't quite understand. It's called Heroine's Quest, the Herald of Ragnarok.
Okay.
And it's completely free on Steam, not limited time, not anything. It's just free because for the rest of time, just because they wanted to release it on Steam and get it out to people. There's no microtransactions, there's no in-app purchases, nothing. And it's basically a point-and-click adventure in the style of like the old Scum games that we talked about before. But it has a leveling system like Fallout and Skyrim, that kind of skills-based thing. I haven't played it yet, but it was so cool I couldn't turn down the free download.
Is it still free?
Yeah, it's still free now. It's free forever. So go and get it. So, the swapping game started about because we had this free Humble Bundle code that nobody took. So I took the codes from that I didn't already have, which actually wasn't a lot. I think it was just the swapper at the end of it all.
Yeah, because we'd said if it went a week after the last recording and nobody had claimed it, then you would you would be able to claim them. Yeah.
Can I just jump in there, lad? Sorry. Thanks, Adam, for Fez as well.
Oh yeah.
I forgot to mention that. Thank you.
So that's what probably actually started it all off. Actually, now I come to think of it. So I sent, just before I redeemed it, I sent one last quick tweet out saying, right, it's going in like 45 minutes when I get home from work. If nobody claims it, I'm done. So then I took the games I could, which I think only worked out as being the swapper because I already owned a lot of the other games. I mean, Colm gifted me Guacamelee way back a few months ago.
That was for payment in kind, by the way.
That was for the podcast hosting, yeah. So I only ended up with a few codes left. There was Fez, Monaco, Antichamber, and Guacamelee. So then I just sent out a message saying, still got these spare codes. If anyone wants them, just let me know and I can give you the individual codes. Friend of the show at Tatsun sent me a message and said, I'll take Monaco for a Mafia 2 code. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure, why not? So we did that swap. And then some other guy who hasn't written to the show before, from what I know, and wasn't following me beforehand, said, oh, I really want Antichamber. Here's a list of games I've got. Do you want to swap for any? And then I was like, oh, I've already got all of those games because they were mostly duplicates from Humble Bundles. And then he was like, well, send me a wish list on Steam and I'll see if there's anything that I'll buy for you. And I thought, okay. I didn't think he'd actually buy anything because like the cheapest game I had on there was $10. And I didn't realise that Antichamber actually sells for $20 now on Steam. So he bought me a copy of Goat Simulator in exchange for Antichamber. So I was happy with that. It was in my, it was probably one of the cheaper games in my wish list, but it was towards the top. So I was happy with that. So that's how the swapping happens. So if anybody wants a copy of Guacamelee, it's still there for swaps, or if you just want to have it. I did contemplate selling on eBay. I looked, people are selling copies of the codes for $5 on eBay. But I don't think it'll sell soon because there's a newer version of it coming out. The Turbo Edition or something. So anyway.
Yeah, I'd heard that too. Doesn't make me want to play it again for any reason. No. So sorry, I'm not selling it on your code there.
But yeah, so I don't know. I may end up stuck with this duplicate code forever. But never mind. I too got something from Welsh Benno.
Mm-hmm.
A game called Gravity Badgers. I've watched videos of it. It looks like it's probably a port from an iPad game or something. And it's kind of like you have badgers floating in space and you have to try and shoot them into like a black hole. And you're like timing it because there's like asteroids caught in the field of the black hole and stuff and you're pinging them in. So it looks quite fun. A bit of a throwaway game. Not sure how much I'll get out of it, but we'll see. I redeemed it and downloaded it, so thank you very much, Welsh Benno. The next thing I picked up, way back when, I can't remember which episode, 2 or 3, I commented on the fact how I have $1.03 in my PSN account that I will likely never get to spend because nothing goes that cheap. Wow. 2 weekends ago, Sony did a 99 cents flash sale.
Mm-hmm.
And I have always wanted the Telltale Jurassic Park game because it's meant to be horrendous. But I've never wanted to spend the money on it because it's meant to be horrendous. So I downloaded it for 99 cents. I was like, that's a bargain for all 4 episodes of what is a terrible game. Having been recently playing The Wolf Among Us and Walking Dead, I just want to see how the hell they became such a good studio, because it's meant to be so bad. It just makes me wonder what's so wrong with it. But then also, how did they manage to convince like AMC and what have you to give them the Walking Dead license when Jurassic Park was such a train wreck?
Because Back to the Future wasn't.
Yeah, okay. I guess they did Wallace and Gromit too.
And they did a couple of Sam and Max ones.
Yeah, and...
Did you do Doctor Who as well, did they? Or did they?
I don't think they did Doctor
else?
Who. They did a Monkey Island one.
Yeah, the newer Monkey Island game. So yeah. So I got that. I haven't started it yet. I looked at it briefly. I booted it up and there was like some weird action scene happening. I was like, this is horrendous. I haven't got time for this now. So I went back to Child of Light. The last thing I myself picked up was Soul Calibur Lost Swords. Now,
was this the free DLC one?
Yeah, free to play.
A bit like Tekken Revolution, yeah.
Kind of. What is interesting about this, though, is it is essentially a version of the single-player game that all the Soul Caliburs have had, like the Trials things. So, like, do this, get a ring out on this guy, do this. But obviously supported by microtransactions, so you're kind of limited in that you have AP, I think it's action points, so you can only do so many fights in a day without spending money. So it gives you 30 action points to start with, or 32, I think. So
it is like Tekken Revolution then.
Yeah, and they've slowly whittled down. So for each mid-story chapter I want to do, it costs between 3 and 6 of these action points. The weird thing about this game, and I don't know if you saw the picture, either of you, that I tweeted.
Yes.
Yeah, the lady.
It makes you start off naked.
Not naked. Don't be.
Well, okay.
Let's not be quite as explicit.
Lightly cladded, I would call.
Okay.
Certainly not ready to turn up to a fighting tournament. Yeah.
No, you are dressed.
Like you're in Dead or Alive beach volleyball.
Yeah, but slightly worse. At least they had coloured bikinis. In this, you're in nude-coloured bra and pants. You can pick a guy as well. There's Siegfried, the guy with the massive sword. He's also in little pants. But I'm not a fan of that character. Like, he's too slow. So I ended up having to pick. It's Safita, I think, the woman that has a sword and a shield. The thing is, so you can buy all these action points and you can pay points for like item chests, but you can't go into the store and just buy items of clothing. It freely forces you to have about 10 battles before it starts giving you items of clothing. So at the moment, I've got some green yoga pants that I'm wearing. And that's all I've managed to acquire so far.
You've sold it to me that it's worth at least a download and a laugh.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. Soul Calibur, I've always struggled with fighting games, but Soul Calibur's always one I've been quite good at. And the core fighting and everything's still there, so it's still a fun experience. And as somebody that's beaten, like, I didn't play Soul Calibur 5, but I played a lot of 4 and 2 and like, done the single-player modes in them. It's quite fun that there's more stuff there. But I'm interested to see how far I can get before the free-to-play stuff becomes prohibitive to me actually enjoying the game. So I'm going to carry on playing the odd fight here and there and see where I get with it. And then the final thing, I mentioned when we recorded Lost Save Loaded that I'm currently in the midst of a man weekend because my girlfriend is away in Miami having her bachelorette party.
However, before you carry on that conversation, let's ask you why we nearly didn't record today.
I nearly didn't record today because as I got home, 10 people turned up to help make... It's not the actual wedding cake, it's a cake that's traditionally given out as like a favour So my house at the moment is full of people. I don't know any of their names. Their cousins, aunties, great-grandparents, God knows. So yeah, so my mum weekend kind of got wrecked by that.
But you,
so I had to make sure
have cake at the end of it, so it's not all
I have
bad.
cake at the end of it in 6 months' time. Very alcohol-y cake by the smell of things. So yeah, so we needed to record because I had to be polite, you know, because my girlfriend's away and they're making this cake for us, so I kind of had to be like, oh, thanks. I like cake. So yeah. So I had to make sure I was dressed and everything because there's guests around. First time this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I divulge. So, girlfriend spent quite a bit of money to go to Miami on this bachelorette party. And I've really struggled with this year of shame lark, which I'll get onto in thoughts and feelings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So she was kind enough to buy me Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes.
Yeah.
Namely because it's the cheapest game in the store by like half price because
it's now gone down. A glorified demo, yeah.
Yeah, because it's gone down to $30 here now. It was $35 on the next gen consoles. Now it's down to $30, so it's half price of every other game. She bought me that plus a $50 Xbox voucher, which I so far have spent on Child of Light and Trials Fusion. I actually didn't talk about Trials Fusion because it makes me so angry. Because it's really hard. But yeah, so that's everything I've picked up. So I'm grateful to my girlfriend that she got to go away and I got a few crumbs from the table to get some games.
And you have the cheek to say that I'm ruining Easter.
This wasn't for Easter. This is because...
Hold on a minute. She goes away for a weekend and she pays you to go away.
Yeah, basically. to be fair, though, I did take her shopping and bought her, like, new clothes and stuff. So I think this was 2 weekends ago. We went and I spent quite a bit of money on clothes for her. So I think it perhaps more came from guilt than anything. She felt bad for me. And I was complaining. I said to her, I think I'm done with this. And she's like, you can't. You said it's a year. And I was like, but who cares? And she's like, what about the podcast? And I was like, they can do it without me. Or I'll just be a passenger. I'll just turn up drunk still hosting it or something. I'll be fine.
Look, we wouldn't let Colm quit, so...
yeah, you're not going to quit that easily.
But I didn't. So this all tied me over. And, I mean, we're in May now, so it's my birthday next month.
So what he's saying here, Colm, is he's not quitting, but any games purchases now are all going to be, well, the girlfriend bought them for me.
No, it was a one-off.
Sending
the Xbox for
it'd
Christmas.
be meeting like kids hanging around outside game stores and be like, yeah, can you just go in there and buy that?
Yeah, can you go in and buy that for me, please?
It's like the kids trying to buy cigarettes from the newsagent.
Yeah,
he's there hanging around. Yeah, if I give you this money.
Outside EB Games. So yeah, I knew I'd get stick off you for that, but
I do think you got off lightly though.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's some list you got there, man.
Somewhat.
That's some list you have there this month.
I noticed. But if you think about it, I didn't spend any money. I'm just waiting. Now all I'm waiting for is that game that goes on sale on PSN for 4 cents. Because that's all that's left in there now.
I've got 7 pence in my PSN wallet.
There you go. We're just waiting for that 7 pence game. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to come one day. Surely.
What annoys me about is the PSN flash sales. We never get any of them flash sales over in Europe, as far as I can make out.
There's one at the moment.
But it's not as cheap, is it?
No. It's a Star Wars one.
Oh.
You know,
See,
Force Unleashed and
that's
like Star Wars Pinball and stuff like that.
I just remembered I missed something off the list I got gifted as well. I sent you the picture of that. Star Wars Republic Commando. Someone gifted me that on Steam because it was on sale. Because I talked about it ages ago to him. He's an old friend that I've done Extra Life with. And I said how much I loved that game on the Xbox. But when I got my PS3, it was one of the games I traded in. And I've regretted it ever since, basically. And didn't even actually know it was on Steam until that sale. And then it appeared and he gifted me it. But I think, isn't it weird that they just announced that none of this stuff is now canon to Star Wars and it all goes on sale? It's like, we don't care. It went
on sale because it's May the 4th.
I know, but I still kind of feel like it's because none of it counts anymore. That's my view, because it went on sale before May the 4th. I guess to beat the weekend and stuff. But still.
Anyway.
So yeah, I also got that. I'm going to put that on the show notes for posterity's sake when we come to look back over this in 20 years' time.
If Google documents are still existing then.
Oh, they will. Google will be around. Okay. So after that long list of games that I've just read out, you might think I have a cheek to talk about what we missed.
You do.
But so now I'm the victim of my own joke because I think I once said that to you, Colm.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go anyway. So my only thing I really wanted was Goat Simulator, and I got gifted it, so I was quite happy. But my other thing is, I've been watching a lot of Twitch stuff on my Xbox.
Yep.
And there's lots of people doing speedruns of retro games and stuff. It kind of makes me wish I had my retro consoles here in Canada so I could clear some of that backlog too. They're all in boxes in my dad's loft at the moment. And I know I could technically, the grey area, I could emulate them because I own them, but I'd still rather have the actual consoles.
Just admit it, you've got a hankering for playing on the Atari 2600 after Microsoft dug up the desert.
God, no. I don't own one, but no. I do not want to play that. But there's weird things. I have a Master System that somebody gave to me a couple of years ago because he cleared his attic out and didn't want it. And I have 10 games that I've never touched, and suddenly it's like, wow, I really want to play on the Master System. But I can't because it's stuck in England. So that's my missing stuff. How about you, Colm?
Well, I'm missing a lot of things, but PS4 and Infamous Second Son would be my main.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on. Didn't you say you were close to buying an Xbox? But you're missing your PS4?
That was for deceptive purposes, to deceive you two guys, you see. I was really desperate, man. And another thing I forgot to mention, I have had a bit of time with Dead Rising 3 this month, so, I say a bit of time, probably an hour over the whole month, so I didn't mention it, but it's a very fun game. It's a great laugh, so.
Yeah.
And the son was edging me on to get the Xbox One so we could co-op it, and I said, hold on a minute. How many games have we co-opted on the Xbox 360? Well, that's not the point, he says.
To be fair, you can local co-op it, so just get a second pad and sit in his room with him.
Yeah, but
I don't think you can with Dead Rising 3.
Oh, maybe.
No, I think we tried that and we couldn't. It's only online co-op. It's hard.
Okay, sorry, I take that back and I sound stupid.
Why is he so desperate then if it's not to co-op games for you to get another Xbox?
It's probably to stop Dad climbing at the door going, I want to play.
Is there a bigger TV somewhere?
Let me in. Yeah, so.
Is his TV in his room smaller or something? So if you had a second one, it'd be plugged into that, a bigger TV.
The one in his room is only 24 inch, I think, or something like that.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's his reasoning. He wants when you're not around so he can play on a bigger TV.
Yeah, probably, yeah, so. And when he was out, I snuck in his Xbox One into my room, which we have a bigger TV. When he came back with his mate, I had to go out. When he came back, he was like, "Where's my Xbox One?" He was panicking. And then he started moaning at me. I'll have to sync me Connect now back up again. I said, God, it can't be that bad, I says. So, but anyway, so yeah, PS4 and Infamous is what I'm missing this month. So pretty much that's me missing in action.
Okay. Justin,
I'm missing playing more games. No, I mean, from the point of view of I've already said, I didn't have as much free time this month to play games, but when I did, I was pretty much only playing Bioshock. So this weekend, I've been pretty dedicated onto playing Assassin's Creed in an effort to get through it as quickly as possible, particularly knowing that it's one of the longer games. And I'm inspired by the fact that I've made so much progress in 2 days, but that's 2 long days. But the problem I've got is I know I've got my pile of shame. I know I've got these games that I've got to work through, but part of me wants to, like Adam, you just said you want to go back and play some retro stuff. I don't necessarily want to play retro stuff, but I want to play, I want to play some fun games. I want to play some games that I have really enjoyed. Like, I had NBA 2K13, which I picked up as an error on the PS Store that it was on Plus in a different territory, and for some reason on the update day, if you manually search for it, you could find it and cash it in for free. They fixed that after a day, but I'd already tweeted it out to hundreds of people by that point and got myself a free copy. And I was sort of, through my 3rd season when they shut down the servers, because they do that with all these annual franchise games. FIFA does the same thing.
Yeah.
And, particularly with it being the playoffs at the moment, it kind of gave me that, like, the buzz that some of the people I follow on Twitter are talking about the NBA playoffs, and it's Game 7 this weekend for the ones that haven't already wrapped up who's going through to the second round, and it got me an interest to play something like that, and I've deleted it now because they shut the server.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I kind of think I wouldn't mind playing something that I actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that I'm not enjoying some of the games that I'm playing at the moment, but everyone has their go-to game on a console, and I haven't played things like Rock Band and Guitar Hero in ages, and I've got a reasonable amount of content for those. But if I went to go and just randomly play something like that, that's time I could be spent actually clearing my backlog.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So I'm missing reliving memories.
Yeah. It's like this never-ending slog of working on the pile.
Yeah.
Takes its toll. I get you. Okay. So, we are going to go on to thoughts and feelings. Colm, we didn't hear from you for a while. What are your thoughts?
I don't really have much at the moment. I'm just really glad.
You surely your thoughts are, how can I con the guys into breaking my year without telling them?
Well, I've already confessed to that one with the purchase of the Xbox One over the PS4. So
I'm still waiting. In an hour, we're going to get an email saying I've got to come clean. I just lied. I bought the Xbox. I'm sorry, I lied to your faces.
No, he'll send you a picture of a 6-pack of Pepsi on his car seat.
Yeah,
that was the best one.
I've done that before.
No, not really. I just like to give Bob Lord of Doom a special mention because I'm still playing Borderlands 2 with him the odd Saturday. So, but apart from that, really, I'm just really glad I got the Wii U at this stage because I'm actually starting to enjoy it now. So, the achievements used to annoy me, because I was lacking achievements, but they don't tend to as much now.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier, that I think people have kind of given up on the whole achievement hype train. It's now something that people actually turn off so that they don't get it pinging up at the bottom of the screen saying you've unlocked something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as that, like the good thing about the Wii U and the 3DS is it tracks your game time as well. So you know exactly how long you've played a game. In my case, way too long.
That can be a bad thing. I know it did that when I played World of Warcraft, and God, I hate to think what it was sat at when I finished playing the game for the last time, but there was easily 170 odd days over 6 years.
Jeez.
That's like my Let me have a look. Do you want to know how long I've spent playing Football Manager? It's depressing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Is this real world time?
Yeah,
this is real
mad.
world time.
This is mad.
517 hours.
And that's last year's version, isn't it?
That's last year's because I don't tend to buy like every year's version. If I get into one, because I've got a career that's like 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future, I stick with it, kind of thing. But yeah. There's a few hours there where I've left it on idle, but not a lot of it. The vast majority of it is me actually playing.
I was looking at that today and I went, holy moly.
Yeah. We're all victims of spending a little too much time.
Yeah, but it's good that you're enjoying it.
My Football Manager days were, when I was at school. Now I don't have any idea who players are these days.
See, I'm just looking through. Football Manager 2011... 824 hours. I just outdone myself there.
Oh dear.
But then that's over the space of a long time. Like if you think Football Manager 2013 actually came out in 2012.
Yeah.
So it's been out nearly 2 years now. And I'll play it, like I often have it on in the background when I'm watching movies and I'm sat playing it then and stuff.
Yeah.
So it soon adds up when you think about it. Like when I was watching through Chuck, Football Manager was on nearly the whole time. So you add it all up. It's
not something that requires your constant attention or hogs the TV screen.
Yeah, exactly. That is also a good thing about it. So yeah.
Okay, well, my thoughts and feelings is this is the time to own a Wii U. Now, I know I don't have one, but Colm's wallet must be groaning under the stress of him picking it up and putting it back down again. Because there's so many good games out at the moment, and some more in the near future. Because at the end of this month, Mario Kart 8 will be out. Now, I'm going to confess something here.
This really is Sunday, isn't it?
This is the best one, yeah. Go on.
Now, I don't have a Wii U. At the moment, I'd be interested in having one if someone wanted to give me one, but I'm not going to go out and spend money on it. But obviously, I said I picked up this Child of Light bundle, and I've also picked up the same bundle for someone in North America who doesn't have access to it, which is Elaine from the Some Other Castle podcast. And at the same time, the Mario Kart 8 bundle that comes out over here is not available over there. And I was trying to wind her up a couple of weeks ago when it got announced, and I was like, really poking fun at her, going, "Oh, it's a shame because you'd really want to buy this, wouldn't you?" And she eventually came back to me and said, "Look, I don't know how else to say this, but would you consider buying the game, taking the European version of the game out, sending me everything else?" And then, obviously, I'll pay you for shipping and I'll pay you what you don't make on selling the game back. And I was like, I guess I could do that. So, yes, I will be buying Mario Kart 8, but it won't be for me. I'll be getting paid, as a vendor, essentially.
As a handler.
Yeah, I'll be paid as a shipping expert. But it does mean I'm going to get left with a copy of Mario Kart 8. And now, I know someone who's got a Wii U. And knowing that Nintendo UK have just decided to announce this deal whereby if you register your copy of Mario Kart 8, you can also get a free game with it, I pretty much said to Colm, look, I've got to sell it. I don't really want to sort of go and sell it to somewhere like CEX or eBay because that's a bit of an unknown commodity. I'd rather effectively give the game away to someone I know who's going to appreciate that. So, knowing that it's Colm's birthday in August, that's right, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yes, and it's yours and my birthdays in June, isn't it, Adam?
Yeah, it is.
A day apart, we found out yesterday.
Yeah, that was mad. That was mad, yeah.
Discovered.
So basically, I've suggested a retail value to Colm, which he has converted in his head into euros, and I believe found acceptable. So
Very acceptable.
I would say that hopefully I might receive a gift for my birthday, and Colm will get an early gift for his in order he can cash in the free game voucher or offer. But it does mean that to keep things square, I'm now going to have to work out what I can buy Adam for the same value.
Wow, I have this Steam wish list that's growing like every day.
Yes, but would you want a game on Steam knowing that that's where the majority of your backlog lies? No,
that's true.
So that'll be for us to have a think about over the next couple of weeks. But my thoughts and feelings are it's a brilliant time to own the Wii U, and I do hope Colm is enjoying it and getting a lot of use out of it, and soon to have a lot more, because you'll be presumably racing the wife on this game.
Oh yeah.
You said she was interested in playing it as well.
Yeah, I did.
Cool. So, do you have any further thoughts and feelings other than what you've already told us, Adam?
No. I'm kind of, I don't know. This month's been rough. Bully's not helped my mental state. And I tell you, it's been weird. I've been constantly flicking through my Steam library and been like there's other games I've actually played and gone to start and been like, oh no, I don't want to play this. Forget this.
Did you hear the news broke last week or the week before? And there was the percentage of games that are bought on Steam and never played.
It was on Ars Technica, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's mad.
It's like 36% or something like that.
Something ridiculous. Yeah, I've never even been installed or anything. It is ridiculous.
So for people with 200 odd games on their Steam library, you're part of the problem, are you?
Basically, yeah. We're all part of the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know it's been hard. I just struggled to find stuff that I want to play. So to have got until the end of this month when I got this little treat off the missus, it was kind of struggling to think, what am I going to play? Kind of sick of all of this. Yeah, but I decided it's okay. So this month I'm going to try a bit of variety. I'm going to have action. It's going to be pickup month. So I'm going to go back through and try and finish off all the games I've started. Like Borderlands 2. I was really enjoying that. And the only reason I stopped playing it is because I got my Xbox One for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then it just fell by the wayside.
Well, you can jump in with Colm.
I'm on PC, though.
Yeah, I'm on PS3.
Oh, well, arguably I could jump on with you, but I'm only about level 8 on it.
Could still have fun. So yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back and go look through my Steam list at all the recent games I've started and not finished. Like Borderlands 2, I'm just looking now. I'm 21 hours into it. I'm well into it. So there's no reason to not go back and finish it.
What level are you on that, do you know?
I can't remember. Pretty high.
Yeah.
Gonna put more time in The Witcher. I'd quite like to finish that. I've been reading the books and stuff and I'm into it. Just, it's kind of not aged very well, so I'm taking my time with that. But yeah, so that's how I'm going to try and alleviate my problem of being sick of it by playing lots of different games, but it's going to be short bursts because it's just different games that need finishing off, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, do you find sometimes you just sit there looking at your games and browsing through them and don't actually ever play any?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. It's not just me then.
I kind of end up down an internet rabbit hole. I'll be like, oh, I don't know. But say, let's have a look at a game that's on my list I haven't finished. Let's just find the first one. So, Tropico 3. So I'll be like, Tropico 3. I can't remember why I left that one. Let me just go and read some reviews of it and see what I thought of it, etc. And before you know it, I'm reading reviews of TV shows that have been on or watching YouTube videos of something completely different. And before you know it, it's time to go to bed and it's didn't even fire up. And then I realise, Tropico 3 is not even installed anymore.
Yeah,
so yeah. I found that this weekend I've had a bit too much time on my hands, I think, because I've not played as much games as I wanted to for that reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you, Justin?
So yeah,
would you be the same? No.
I don't know. I started thinking about games that I might consider dumping off the pile, and to my immediate mind, the only thing that strikes me is Payday 2, which I just picked up this month because inevitably it's going to be the same as Payday 1, which I abandoned because there was no end point. I mean, smart as I'm going to stop playing that as soon as I've unlocked all the different puzzles, but that's the sort of game that you can never actually complete because it's just a daily challenge thing.
I guess Payday does have a level cap, Payday 2. Like, they introduced all that into like a leveling system and unlock system. But I'm not sure you'd be worth the hours to actually unlock it all, to be honest.
No.
So yeah, I'm with you on that. That's interesting actually. So you're talking about games to just wipe off the pile altogether.
Yeah, well,
and saying you think like that's not on the list anymore because it's not. You like put a bit of time into it and it can't be finished, or
yeah, if it's clear that there's no active end of the game, like MMOs, for example, there's no way that you could ever finish one of those. You just get to the point where you've run out of story.
Uh-huh.
But not that I have any MMOs, or it's just the point of view of I did think when we read that piece that was put up by Esmeralda a few months back, and she said on there that you've just got to be bold and ask yourself, are you ever going to play that?
Yeah.
And if you're not, then get rid of it. I mean, like not Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter on the Vita. Part of me thinks I might play through Jak 1 because that's the best one of them, and then I delete it. And part of me thinks, well, why would I even bother?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a trophy hunter, and apart from the odd stage having touch controls rather than thumbstick controls, it's the same game.
Yeah, so what are you actually benefiting from replaying it? Yeah, I think that's fair enough. That's another good way to feel better, I guess, than start just wiping games off the pile.
Yeah, well, it's the same with cross-buy games. Yeah,
you're not going to play them twice.
That's it. Cross-buy or cross-save. If they're cross-save, you're arguably playing both versions of it. Cross-buy, you're only playing one, but you've picked it up twice. Although I started only adding those onto my list on one format, not on both.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's our thoughts and feelings done. So we're going to go on to listener mail.
Well, before you do that, let's catch up with the competitions.
Okay.
So, competition time last month, we've discussed your negotiations and cashing in of your unused code. I gave up the code for the PopCap bundle, which Nearly 84 cashed in. And he was a prime example of waiting 2 to 3 weeks before he tweeted in, and he did sort of say, I'm just trying my luck, but let's have a go. And sure enough, yes, you were the first person. So he said his wife was into the puzzly game, so hopefully that's bought a few hours of peace for him there. And Colm, you were giving away Rage last month.
Yeah, and
without the box.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I gave him the box as well. Conscience got the better of me. And
what a generous soul.
I know, yeah. So Jason Curry replied, and I posted that off to him, and I put in a little Year of Shame complimentary slip in it, and says, hope you enjoy it. And he tweeted me back and said he received it 3 or 4 days later. So, yeah.
Cool.
He was happy enough.
Okay. Well, as I have finished Bioshock, and it took so much of my life up, that I did last week, I put a tweet out saying, is it worth me putting this game up for auction? Competition, because if I'd already worked out, if I took it into somewhere like CEX, I'd only get about £2-3 for it, and realistically, that's not worth it. The time it takes me to walk into the town to to trade in the game isn't worth the money I'd get out of it. So I said, do you think I put a tweet out saying, do you think anyone would be interested, or should I consider offering it up for a competition this month? And sure enough, we did have 1 or 2 replies saying, well, yeah, why not? So I'm going to give away Bioshock 3 disc copy on the PS3 and complete in box, of course. And what I'd like you to do is you can either tweet me at OnYoS, or you can tweet the YoS Challenge 2 account, and I want you to just say pew pew lasers.
Okay.
That's Bioshock 3 now you're giving away.
No, Bioshock on the PS3.
All right, sorry.
Bioshock 1
Grant.
on the PS3.
Good.
So play it again for the first time.
Sure.
Cool.
Well, hopefully somebody snaps that up.
Yeah. So now we can go on to listener mail.
Okay. I'll start with Sean's email and then his tweet that follows on from it, I guess. So, this is at Sean Aiken, friend of the show, he's tweeted us before. It says, hello. I thought that with you guys planning to record soon, I'd let you know how things are with my own Year of Shame challenge closing in on the first 4 months. Thankfully, I've had a very easy go of it so far, mostly due to the lack of compelling new releases. Only 2 have ended up on my want list: Infamous Second Son and South Park The Stick of Truth. While you can wait for
cars to drive by?
That was a motorbike, actually. A big motorbike, too. It distracted me. While I can keep waiting on the former, I've been dying to play the latter. I thought that it wouldn't be a problem, as I expected it to show up in one of my local Redbox kiosks. But alas, it's still been notable by its absence. Even more frustrating has been the fact I was able to locate Redboxes in relatively nearby Hardin and Coldstrip, Montana. I had considered biting the bullet, but decided it wasn't worth the fuel expenditure. So imagine my surprise yesterday when browsing a local Redbox, I found a copy of South Park on the 360. I rented it eagerly, only to discover later the disc was too scratched to read properly. I still curse the fates over that one.
Yeah, because Redbox, for UK-based people, well, people outside of America, Redbox is, as I understand it, it's basically a rental service. It's like, the equivalent of Blockbuster.
Yeah, we have a Redbox here, actually. So they have kiosks or machines in supermarkets and stuff. You pop your credit card in, tap a little touchscreen, pick what you want, and then away you go. And I think it charges you like $3 a day or something. And then you can just take it back to any other Redbox and it knows what copy you've got and then charges your credit card after that. So arguably still an expensive way. If he was going to get South Park on it and didn't finish it straight away, it could still add up. Plus however far he has to drive. I don't know. You see a lot of people use them to get movies and stuff. So yeah. I will carry on with the rest of his email. While I've done well to avoid dropping my own cash on games and DLC, I confess I've been very lax on the other purpose of the YoS challenge, reducing the backlog. Instead of playing new games, of which I've plenty, I've stayed mired in the usual Skyrim, Mass Effect, GTA comfort zone. Thus far...
I was just going to say, which was where my thoughts and feelings were, or my missing stuff was wanting to go back and play those sorts of games, but I guess I'm the opposite. I have been focusing on the games I've not played.
Yeah, his Skyrim thing actually hit a bit of it, because I've done 95 hours on Skyrim, which isn't a whole ton by people's standards, but I still have stuff to finish up. And the other day I was thinking, I could just sit for a few hours and Miranda around, but I was like, no, finish dust. Thus far, the only new game I finished fresh is Lego Harry Potter 2. I've therefore accepted that I might have to extend my Year of Shame beyond 12 months, a la the Year of Luigi or International Geophysical Year. Okay, I have no idea what that is, but the Year of Luigi did run from January to the following March or something, so you get the idea. I intend to redouble my efforts, starting with my digital backlog on the 360, having concluded that between that and the PS3, its prior gen support is likely to have shorter shelf life. That's all I have for now. Thanks for giving me reason to keep up this endeavour. Looking forward to the next show. And that is from Sean Aitken, otherwise known as Sean Cullen, who lives in Sheridan, USA.
That's mad.
And he also tweeted us to say, so this is slightly after it, I caved and made the 150-mile trip to Redbox for the game I mentioned. Hashtag damn right it is safer. Saver? So yeah, he travelled 150 miles to get a copy of South Park. I'd love to know if, Sean, you're obviously probably listening, can you tell us how much you end up spending on South Park once you've taken it back and what the rental costs are? I'd love to know.
Yeah, I've heard the main campaign of that is about 12 hours.
Yeah, so he could get it done pretty quickly if he's an ardent RPG player. So yeah. So we'll go. We have more tweets. We've got some questions. So, Colm, would you like to read a question out?
Justin Knowles. Here's a regular in the show. Do you have a game or a list of games you intend to buy as soon as your YoS is over? Everything.
All of the games.
All of them. Well, Adam?
Go on. No, you go on.
Well, I've just mentioned PS4 and Infamous Second Son, so that's high on my list at the moment, so that's what I'll be buying.
Justin?
I think for me it's going to depend where I'm at with regards to next-gen consoles. I know I've said I probably will be wanting to change my phone before the hockey season starts, so if I'm changing it early and I can get a suitable deal, the 3 months I'll have saved on not buying it now, if I go for that same PlayStation deal. Yeah, I'm going to have some games already from Plus, but I don't know. It's really nothing of the forthcoming releases has made me think, yes, I want to go out and take the money out of my savings and buy the console now. But if I had a Wii U, or if I saw a Wii U come down to... Well, they're doing them for... I think there was a deal on with the Mario Kart bundle was going for £200, but if I could see a boxed black version console, the 32-gig one, for £150, maybe I'd consider getting that in time for Christmas. And then pick up the few niche titles on the Nintendo, which is what the last 3 generations worth of Nintendo consoles have been for.
Yep, that is very true.
First party titles, and that's about it.
Yep. Same here. In that respect. For me, I guess, I do have a list. It's called a Steam wish list. It's the worst feature of Steam ever, because I keep adding stuff to it. It's 24 games long.
See, I've downloaded the app onto my Google Chrome, which automatically adds anything that I click add to my Amazon wish list, even if I'm looking at other websites.
That's brilliant.
So you can go on game website and then click add to Amazon wish list.
I didn't know that existed. That's a good feature. See, I have a few games. Oh, go on.
I was just going to say it's a dangerous feature.
Yeah, as is this wish list nonsense, because every time you load up Steam, it brings up the storefront. You see stuff, you end up clicking on it rather than buying it. I add it to the wish list. There's some games though, they're not things that are ever going to be on the backlog, so to speak. I quite want to play Nidhogg because it's a fun multiplayer game. It's a fencing game. So that's on the list. That's number 2 on the list because it'd be quite fun to play with my mate and stuff. But it's never going to intrude on the backlog other than if I spend too much time playing it. But it's on there, and there's a few others that are like that, like multiplayer games. So yeah, I do have a list. I'm not going to read all of them out. Like I said, it's 24 games long.
You don't want to sound like you're basically going to the listeners, here's all the games you can buy me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not that faceless, barefaced, begging. But I will tell you now, I'm joking. I'm joking. So I have a list, yeah. Next question.
Okay, so after asking us that one, Justin Knowles came back and asked as well, if it was announced that it was coming out tomorrow, what game would you break your YoS? For me, it would be Fallout 4, which Sean Aiken said, if I may interject, me too. I don't know. There's been nothing that I've been, as I say, as just said a minute ago, there's been nothing that I've been craving that I must have. I guess if there was a Red Dead Redemption 2 that had been confirmed as coming out and that was coming out tomorrow, then that would be the only thing that I have loved enough in recent years that I've actively kept an eye out for any news of, or official news of a sequel. Definitely more so than I ever cared about Grand Theft Auto 5, because I didn't really pay much attention to that after the disappointment that was 4.
Fair enough.
Adam?
Colm
then?
It'd have to be Uncharted. Uncharted 4.
Oh, the new Uncharted.
Yeah, I love Uncharted. I've loved all the 3 games, so...
4 games.
Uncharted. 4 games, sorry. Yeah, I forgot about the Vita. Even though I played that one.
Oh, sorry.
Even though you platinumed that one.
Yeah. So the only one I haven't platinumed yet is Uncharted 3, which is a work in progress. So.
Cool.
So yeah, that would be my game. Adam?
Mine would be if they brought out a home console Zelda game.
Oh, yeah.
Zelda's not quite... I've let go of Mario now. The only reason I had a Wii was because I can't face not playing the next Mario game and Zelda game. So that's why I got my Wii day one, I guess. But now Mario's kind of fallen by the wayside. I'm not that bothered that I missed 3D World. I don't care for the new Mario games, but Zelda is still the one. As soon as that's announced on the Wii U, I'm going to have it. So if it was coming out tomorrow, I would go out and buy a Wii U. Probably.
Have you played all the Zelda games then?
Pretty much, yeah. There's some I haven't finished. I haven't finished both of the Oracle games on the Game Boy Color, but I have them on my 3DS. I haven't finished Zelda 2 either, the side-scrolling one from the Nintendo, old Nintendo. But yeah, I pretty much played every single main entry.
Wind Waker HD wasn't a breaking point for you, no?
No, because it was a remake again. I could live without it. Me and Justin talked about it the other day, actually, about how
I didn't like it.
It's pretty, yeah, how you didn't like it, but then I was saying no matter how pretty it looks, I still think the original looks good for its day, and no amount of sharper lines would make me jump out to buy it straight away. So that would be mine.
I just think Zelda shouldn't be a cartoon.
Yeah, so you're waiting for them to release that Uber HD realistic one?
Yeah, well,
one day.
Graphically, for the most part, Twilight Princess was a much better looking game. It was just long as hell and really boring in the middle.
Yeah, really boring.
I thought I'd finished it, and then it was like, oh no, now you've actually unlocked the main game. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, it was a slog.
Yeah,
I definitely agree. I blanked out huge parts of that game. I just don't remember it because I found it that boring and tedious.
And I never picked up Skyward Sword because I was after the bundle that came with the controller, and
yeah.
There was a period where I could have picked it up for about £40, and it was £40 that I didn't really need to spend. I always have 2 controllers for my consoles. Mainly because, with PS3, I've got one charging while I'm playing on the other pad, so that if it dies mid-game, I can just swap them over and I can instantly pick up again. With the Wii, it was always a case of just put new batteries in it, and off you go. And I've always got batteries floating around, so I haven't ever really, other than the early times with Mario and obviously Wii Sports, I've never really brought people round to play on the Wii.
No.
Which is ironic, really, because that's what it was for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was that because you were ashamed?
No, it's because it wasn't my go-to console.
All right.
And there was I only ever picked up a grand total of about 6 Wii games.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I had one originally at launch and we sold it.
Yeah.
I only went back and picked it up later because I found one at a stupid price, like £120. With Wii Sports Resort.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. We have one more from @Sean Aiken. So none of us quite understand. And I don't know if something happened since he sent the previous tweet and the email. This
is in a reply to what would it make you drop your Year of Shame for?
Yeah.
And then,
so he sent it to Justin Knowles as well in reply.
Yeah, because Justin Knowles had said
you...
if Fallout 4 came out on next gen, it would force me to go to next gen as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. So he said, having been gifted a PS4, I'd say that it would take such a killer app before you're missing out. So it makes it sound like he was given a PS4 and he's saying there's nothing worth playing on it. So yeah, you should wait for Infamous before you'd crack, kind of thing.
Or Fallout 4.
Or Fallout 4. What did I say?
Infamous.
Oh, yeah, I meant Fallout 4. Yeah, so that's how I'm reading it. And somewhere, I don't know if he already told us he got gifted a PS4, if I've missed that along the way.
I don't recall being told, but...
No.
You know.
Or maybe he's saying that if we were gifted a PS4, we wouldn't be missing. We're not missing them.
No, he's definitely saying from his point of view.
All right, yeah.
That there's nothing, there's no killer titles out for the PS4, and I've seen a few people referring to their PS4 as, you know, the Sony Dust Gatherer, and I can't remember. There's like an equivalent one that they've used for the Xbox. They basically said people with both of them aren't using either of them really.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same with any next gen. When the 360 came out, there wasn't decent games for at least, a year before Gears of War came out and so forth. So, I remember playing Cameo and trying to convince myself what a wonderful game it was at the time.
PlayStation 2, it was Tekken Tag Tournament, Dead or Alive 2.
I remember. And Fantavision, was it that fireworks game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I had Bust a Move 2.
Okay.
And the one that was like a version of Tetris, but Wet Tricks or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, Tekken Tag, I remember that, all right.
Okay. So, if you want to wrap up there, Mr. Adam, just remind them to tweet me your pew pew lasers.
Yeah. So, if people would like to win a copy of Bioshock
on the PS3
and on the PS3, or Boroshock as we've grown to love calling it, had to get that in there. You can tweet us at
YoS Challenge 2.
YoS Challenge 2, yeah. At YoS Challenge 2 and write pew pew lasers and it's all yours. Is it first person, Justin?
Well, I will. I'll give it 3 weeks, and then I'll roll a dice and pick a random winner to be announced on the next show.
Okay, awesome. Okay, and you can obviously find us on Twitter at YoS Challenge 2. Colm, would you like to let them know how they can listen to you ranting on Twitter?
Yeah, it's at Colm67.
Awesome. And Justin, where can we find you?
At Onya6.
Cool. I'm at Flameboy84. And the same name on Twitch, where I did stream my entire playthrough of Metal Gear Solid before. And earlier this morning, I streamed a couple of hours of Child of Light, which I think I'm going to go back to after we're done recording.
You're not going to help bake the cake, no?
No, I think they're leaving. I can hear people I think I can hear the front door and there's people shouting.
Do you know what they're all saying, Adam? They're saying, how rude of that Adam fella to come in. We come over to his house and bake his cake, and I can't see him for anywhere. You can't find him anywhere.
You know what? They probably are.
Well, let's wrap up, and you can at least do the host thing and say goodbye to them.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure as always. I hope the listeners have enjoyed listening, and we will be back next month for more tales of woe. Good night, guys.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
I'm on.
I'm
awesome.
on.
Okay.
So I thought we were doing harmonies there.
Okay.
Wow. Thanks for that.